Okay, guys, so we obviously know that there is no holy grail in trading. But what is the closest thing to a holy grail that there actually is? So I was actually just in the shower and I was thinking about, is there a holy grail in trading? Is there something that if you do this, it will make it a lot easier for you to profit? And I had an epiphany. I came to the conclusion that there's literally one thing, and it's discipline. Because you could have the best strategy, you could have the best trading plan, you could have the highest win rate possible, but if you don't have discipline, it all means absolutely nothing. So a lot of traders think they have discipline because they follow a few of their confluences, but that's not true discipline. Discipline kind of encompasses risk management, money management, trade management, following a trading plan, following your journaling routine, your backtesting routine, your data collection, how you invest your profits. All of this boils down to how disciplined are you. Because if one thing goes out of line, it can kind of have a domino effect on everything else that's actually in your trading world at the moment. If you obviously break your rules, you don't follow your plan correctly, that will then mean that you can't manage a trade correctly because you're in a trade that you're not normally in, so you don't know what to do. Should you close out early? Should you just wait and see what happens? Then it means that the money management's kind of not normal, the trade management isn't normal, and it also means the risk management isn't normal because you're not risking what you would normally risk. And then also, as a result of that, it means that your data collection is also completely void because you obviously have confidence and trust in your strategy and you're confident to use live money because you've collected data on set rules. So if you actually break any of those rules, it's completely void. And it literally means nothing. You could collect 5 years of data. If you break a rule, what's the point in all that? The reason you actually collect the data is so that it allows you to have discipline with confidence. If you have discipline, but you're going into a trade doubting the setup, that is no good. If you're doubting the trades you're about to take or the trades you're actually in, you clearly haven't done enough work on your strategy before you took it live. It's like what I'm doing right now. I'm practicing swing trading. I've been back testing, I've been forward testing, but if I just took a few back tested trades, 10, 20, 30 trades, and was like, oh, it's good enough now, how am I going to have enough confidence to start trading with $200,000 funded accounts, $400,000 funded accounts? How am I going to have the confidence that I know that if I press a button to buy, I'm risking $4,000? It's quite tricky in that point. And that's why a lot of people are scared to enter trades when they get funded or when they buy challenges. Because if you had trust in your strategy, you wouldn't be scared to enter trades ever. But if that is the case for you, 9 times out of 10, it is the lack of trust and confidence in your strategy, which is fueled by the lack of preparation. You know, that famous saying, if you fail to prepare, prepare to fail. It's the exact same with trading. If you fail to collect data, then be prepared to not make any profit. I mean, there probably is a more poetic way to actually say that, but you kind of get the idea of it. And it all boils down to the fact that nothing matters if you don't have discipline. If we relate it to another sport, let's say football, for example, and you know you're playing a perfect game, but then you do that one tackle, and then you get a red card. All your good work is probably going to be forgotten because people won't remember the goal you scored, but they'll remember how then you left the team with 10 men, and now they have to play without a player in that certain position, which could leave them vulnerable to then concede a goal. Conceding a goal in that situation is like you losing a trade after you made the tackle or broke the rule. It's the same kind of scenario. So a lot of people find it easier when it is put into terms that they're more familiar with. I think football is probably the biggest sport in the world, unfortunately. I don't know how you could watch that, but it does make sense in that kind of situation. One mistake can lead to numerous mistakes down the line. Like I said, domino effect. So to instill discipline into your trading routine, the best way to do it is to write everything down. It might seem boring. It might seem like there's no gain to it. But if you're there journaling your trades at the end of the week or the end of the day, whenever you actually complete your journaling of your wins or your losses, you should have a bit in the journal where you just type about your thoughts during that day, your thoughts during the trade. Because it's very important to know how you're feeling when that trade is in profit, when that trade is in drawdown. Why did you break the rule? And if you actually write it down, it's more likely that you're going to hold yourself accountable or more accountable in the future. By writing it down, that is the first step to being more disciplined because you are holding yourself accountable. But by noting it down and consistently journaling, you will start to notice there's certain things that maybe make you make that mistake. Maybe you are scrolling social media and you see someone get into a trade, but your entry wasn't really, you weren't too sure, but then all these other people you're seeing are actually getting in that trade. Then the psychology takes over. And maybe if you look at your journal and realize, okay, so every time I'm actually looking on social media and I'm getting FOMO, fear of missing out. I don't want to see all these people making money, but I'm not in the trade just because I'm missing two of my confluences. And then you just enter the trade anyway, but then it loses. Then in your mind, you don't think, oh, well, those people lost, so it's okay. No. You think that, okay, it's not great. I lost the trade, but the confluences weren't there anyway, so it's fine if I lost a trade. But that's not the mindset to have. Because imagine a situation, if you did copy those people and you did break the rules, but then that trade won. Then in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I broke the rule, but the trade won. I broke the rule, but the trade won. That's not that bad, right? It's not that bad. But that is the worst situation and the worst outcome for that trade. At least if the trade loses, you're still going to be thinking, okay, I broke the rules. There weren't all the confluences I actually required to enter the trade. I won't do that next time. But if that trade wins and you make money from it, my God, that is dangerous. I've had it before in the past where I would do an over leveraged trade. These were back in my account flipping days back in 2020. I risked 25% of the account on a trade. It would work. So what would I do next time? I'd do the same. I'd risk 25%, maybe even more. Maybe I'd up it to 30, 40% risk. I mean, this probably sounds quite ludicrous to most people, but the majority of beginner traders do this. They try and flip their accounts. If they win, they up their risk. It's as simple as that. But if they lost on that trade, they're less likely to make the same mistake again. But if they win, everything goes from then on because you haven't been punished for the mistake. It's like with dogs. When you're training a dog, if they do something wrong, you don't give them a reward. But if they do something wrong and then you give them a reward, they think it's good and that they should do it again. And people often say trade like a robot, but you should trade like a dog. And it sounds quite silly, but it's true. You shouldn't be rewarded for the mistakes that you actually make. If you start barking at someone, do not, well, I guess you can't say if you're going to profit or not, but if you do something wrong, if you chew the sofa, if you bite someone, if you get rewarded, it will just lead to more and more mistakes in the future. So realize the mistakes you're making, realize it's having a knock-on effect on everything else in your trading, and then hopefully, after seeing this video, you'll take action on the mistakes you're actually making, so you can maybe get to the position I'm in, where I have a consistent trading strategy. I'm quite disciplined. I personally think I don't often, or really any time, break rules because I have trust in my strategy. I don't need to break rules because I know that in the long term it works, and that's all that really matters in trading.